Yeah, so let me make it go live. Let's go live. Okay, it's gonna take some time to refresh. And yeah, here it is. Go live. Okay, so let me open the simple X website as well. Okay, so we did two sections yesterday, and they were totally responsive. We're gonna continue it from the point we left it off. Okay, so this is what we want to create. So now we are moving towards the third section. You can say the main body sections. So this is our hero section. Okay, so what do you see here? How many divs do you see? Let me open the paint as well. Yeah, good. One div. Let me open the paint. What happened? Okay. Okay, so yeah, we have one main div. Okay, so inside that div, how many divs do we have? Two, good. So we have the title section and we have this image section. Okay, so you might want to ask me a question, how can we do these things, the moving dots? We can't do it yet because these are basically achieved by JavaScript. So basically that is our, you can say, it's going to be our topic in the upcoming classes, and you can see it's actually where the programming begins, the actual coding begins. No, it's not by default. You have to, add these dots, okay, these functionalities, but again it's done by JavaScript, so we can't do it yet. Okay, we can do it when we'll study JavaScript inshallah, but not yet. So we're gonna skip this part, the dots part. Okay. Okay, so how many divs do we have inside the left div? Three, good. So we have the upper heading or paragraph, whatever that is, we'll figure it out. And then we'll have this main heading, and after this we have this button, and inside the second div we only have this image. So yeah, that's it. Okay, so let's start the coding. So after this parent, this end parent, I'm gonna create a section and I'll name it hero. Okay, so inside the hero we have two divs. I'll say the h, I can say h left. Can I say h left or can I not? Very good, very good. We already had the h left, so we can do it again because they both would have different styling. So let's say I'm gonna name it hero left. Okay, and similarly I'll name the other one to be hero right. Yeah, inside the hero left I'm going to have this. So what is this? Is this a heading or a paragraph?
A heading?
This is the heading. And how would you know whether something is a heading or not? If it's bold, it's a heading. If it's not, it's a paragraph.
Oh, so
So
it's a paragraph.
yeah, it's a paragraph. So it's saying simple X. And this one, which heading is this? Which heading is this? It's, we can say H1, I guess. Yeah, we can do that, this one again, because this is again JavaScript, so everything fun is JavaScript. Okay, but again it's kind of little, you can say, it's gonna come later in our course, but not yet. So we'll just put a simple old heading. So I'll say h1, and here I've already copied it. And lastly we have this button, so I'm going to say button with the class of demo dash bdn, and it'll say book a demo. Yeah, okay. So now for the image, right click, copy image address, and in the hero right, I'll say image, and what should be the width of this image? 100%, good. 100%, and waste. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now I want them to be side by side. Good. Display flex on what? Who's the parent? The hero. So I'll say outside the media queries, I'll say dot hero, and I'll do display flex. Perfect. Now I want to make this one bigger. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want this hero section to be aligned with the top sections, like the header and the nav bar. So what should I do? I want it to be aligned with those sections. No. Align items is gonna align them on the y-axis. Like align them like no. I want to align them like the width wise. So I'll put the same width we have on the header and the nav bar. So I'll say width. What was the width? I guess it was 70%. 70%. So 70% was the width of nav bar and header. Yeah, it's now small. I want to get them in the center. So I'll say margin to be 2 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right. Perfect. Now they're perfectly aligned. If you were to see here, they're perfectly aligned. Okay, so now I want to, this one is at the top, this one is in the bottom, so I want to align them. What should I do? Like it should be in the center, like in the middle, like here.
You have to do align items?
Good, align items. So the main parent, I'll say align items in the center. Perfect. Now I want to make this one bigger. So what is this? This is, I'll say, get me the h1 that is inside the hero. So I'll say, what should I say in order to make it big?
The font size?
Good, the font size, and let's say 3 rem. Wait, but we have a problem here. What's the problem? Yeah, it's too big, plus we have another problem. When this is getting big, the image is getting small. So basically we want to, we want them to retain their actual width. We don't want the width to be changed when something changes in one of the sections. So what we can do is we can target both of the sections. Yeah. No. It's not inside the paragraph. No. They're already separate containers. But you have to keep in mind that they're both the children of the flex parent. Okay. So basically by default, flex does what? Basically, if one child gets bigger than the other child, it's gonna make the one child smaller and the other one bigger. So basically that's the default behavior. We can override. We can make this font size smaller, but it's again going to do the same thing. It's gonna make the left one bigger. Look, the left one is still bigger. Okay, so we want to make them take up the actual spaces the flex is giving. So what we can do is we can say, wait, what happened here? We can say get me the hero left section plus get me the hero right section, and I want them to have a width of 100%. Now what this 100% would refer to is, if we had 3 children's, the equal width would be divided between those 3 children. So if we had 10 children, that 100% is going to be divided equally to those 10 children. But we now have two children, so this 100% is going to be divided equally to those 2 children. So what will be the width of those 2 children? 100%. Yeah, but if we were to talk relative according to the parent, like what would be the width then? Like the parent is 100%? 50%, exactly. So basically what would happen if we had 3 children in the flex? 100 divided by 3, it's around 33.3 something. Okay, so basically if you were to put 100%, every child is going to take equal space of the flex parent. So if we were to go back again, look now, we have them equally divided, but again this is too big, so I'll go over and I'll say it should be 2.5 frame. Yeah, perfect. Okay, so now the width is perfectly divided. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to make this a little bigger, so I'll copy it down. I'll say now I need to get the paragraph that is inside the hero, and I want it to have a font size of 1.4 em. Perfect. And I want to have it the color of, we did copy the color. What was the color for the paragraph? We made a variable for that, this one. And what was it? Main para color. And how do we use the variables? Very good, var. So color, and then we'll say var and main para color. Yeah, perfect. And let's get the button now. So what should we say, the demo btn or the demo btn and then the button? Where's the button? Yeah, so is it going to be demo btn, just demo btn, or button that is inside the demo btn? Look again, just demo btn, because this button has a class of demo btn. We don't have a div that is enclosing the button. Okay, so we'll just say dot demo btn, and I'm gonna have it a padding of, let's say, 0.6 rem from left and right, sorry, from top and bottom, and 1 rem from left and right. Perfect. Let's make it rounded. So also border radius to be 60 pixels, so it's fully rounded. I don't want it to have a border, so I'll say border to be none, and I want it to have a background color of that same thing, that variable, so I'll say background color var and primary color. Yeah, perfect. And the color should be white, and I want to make it bold. How do I do that? Good. Font weight, so I'll say font weight to be bold. Perfect. Now I want to have some space between all of these three. What should I do? Margin. Yeah, margin. We can use margin, but where should we use margin in order to have space between all of them? Like we have this paragraph, we have this heading, we have this button. Where should we exactly use the margin in order to have space between all of them? Like on paragraph, on heading, or on button, where should we use the margin? Look, if we were to use margin on this heading, we can have space from top, and we can have space from this bottom section. So if we were to give margin on this middle section, we'll have space between all of these three. So I'm going to target the middle section, that is hero and h1, and I'll say margin to be 1 rem 0. So basically from top and bottom I want it to have 1 rem, and from left and right it should be 0. So we'll have this space from the top and from the bottom, so we have the space. Okay, so yeah, so that is done for the bigger screen. Let's move towards the smaller screen. Now the things are going to get easy from this point onwards, because the main problem lies in the header and the navbar sections. Okay, so tell me, where does the problem arises? Wait, let me reduce it a bit. Yeah, so this is our website on bigger screen. Yeah, here's the problem. Wait, where's the problem? Here, 1426. So we can round it off to 1430. So I think we already have something like that. Yeah, here. So what we can do is, let's increase the width. We have to align them according to the header and navbar. We already have targeted the navbar and header here. We can simply put a comma here, and we'll target the hero as well. So basically what's going to happen is, all three of them would have the width of 85% on 1440 pixels. We don't have to separately do it. So yeah, perfect. Now they're perfectly aligned, plus we have more width here. Yeah, here's the problem now. And what is the screen size? 1160. We already have something like that. Yeah, we already have something like that. 1170. Okay, so we are increasing the width of navbar and header. We can do that same thing with the hero as well. So I'll just put dot hero, so it'll have the width of 95% on 1170 pixels. It'll have a width of 85% on 1440 pixels, and it'll have a width of 70% on anything that is bigger than 1440 pixels. And yeah, perfect. So now we have a problem here. That is around 1052. So yeah, here 1060. Yeah, we can do it here. So what do you think we should do in order to accommodate it inside the same space? We can increase the width no more because we don't have any space. We are already at 95% of the width, so we can increase the width. So tell me, what do you see? What should we do in order to make it fit inside the screen we have, the screen size we have?
We already applied flex, right?
We have already applied the flex. Yes, that's what is side by side. Think of something else. What should we do so that it doesn't look bad like it's looking right now? Like, what do you think? What is something that is posing the problem here? We can do that because it's already at 95%. We can increase that. The paragraph or the heading? Yeah, very good. We can, this is the thing, basically this is what is posing the problem here, this heading here. Okay, so we can reduce the size of the heading at 1060. Yeah, 1060. So we can say that hero and then h1, get me the h1 that is inside the hero, and I want the font size to be, let's say, 2 rems. Yeah, perfect. Look, now if I were to decrease again, so the next problem lies here. 865, do we have something? No, we don't have something around 865, so we have to create it. 865, let's round it off to 870. So should we create it below it or before it? Above it, yeah. So I'll copy it above and I'll say 870 pixels. So what do you think we should do? What should we do? Like, what should we do at 870 pixels?
Again, the heading.
Very good. We can decrease the size of the heading here. So I'll say hero h1, and font size we have decreased it to around 2 rem. Let's decrease it more to maybe, let's say, 1.5 rem, and let's also reduce the size for the paragraph as well because we don't want them to be the same size. The heading should always be bigger than the paragraph. So I'll say hero and p. The paragraph was 1.5 rem before, so we can change it to 1 rem here when it reaches 870. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so here, now what do you think we should do? We don't have to decrease the font size of this h1 again because it'll be too small then. So what do you think we should do now so that it looks good on mobile screens?
Can we make the image smaller?
No, image is already too small for the small screen. What do you think? If I were to open it on the mobile screen, look what would happen. This is how it's gonna look. We don't want that because mobile screen is too small. I want them to take, basically at the moment they're in the row wise direction.
We could do flex direction.
Yeah, very good. We have to do flex direction. So when we reach 6, how much? 630? No, not 630. Wait, let me see if it looks good on 630, and we can, yeah, 630 is good. So when we reach 630, what we want to do is we want to change the flex direction of the hero so that they're in a column wise, not row wise now. So we can say hero, and hero is already display flex. We don't have to do it again because it's being inherited from the top. And we can say flex direction to be, now instead of row it's gonna be column. So yeah, perfect. Look, it's perfectly aligned. But now what we want to do is when it reaches 630 pixels, I want all of this, the top section, the hero left section, to be in the center. I want it to be in the center. So what should I do? I can say text align center on the smaller screen. So yeah, perfect. So look, if I were to decrease the size, it's perfectly being aligned with the smaller screen. If I were to open it on mobile phone, it looks good, like really good. Okay, so any questions for this section? It was easy as compared to the header and the nav bar. Any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Let's move towards the next section. This one. Okay, so what do you see? Again, single div. This is
Yeah.
single div. So how many divs do we have inside this single div?
Two.
Two. Good. So we have this heading, and we have one div that is containing all of them, because this side by side, so obviously they have a parent. Okay, so inside the second div we have four divs. One, two, three, and four. Okay, so inside each div we have an image and we have a text. Okay, so any question about the layout?
No.
Okay, so this is the main parent. We have this heading and we have this card section, kind of like a card section. So let's name it solution maybe. Yeah, because it's saying solution. So I'll go after the hero. I'll put a comment here to say it's the solutions section. So I'll make a section with the class of solutions, and inside it I'll have an h2, copy it, and then we'll have this div. What should we name this one? This main div. Give me a name for this one. This here, and it's having
As cards.
yeah, we can do that as cards. So s dash cards, and what should we name this single one? As card with a singular. So s
Yeah, as card.
card, and inside this s card we have an image. So let me copy it, and it should have a width of 100%, and beneath this image we'll have a paragraph. I'm just gonna say sales growth. Okay, let me write it myself. Sales growth. Save it. And yeah. Why can't we see the image? Because the image is white and the background is white as well. Image is right around here somewhere. Okay, so there is image present. Let me order another pesticide, you'll see. So here is the image, but again we can't see it because of the same backgrounds. So let me change the background. So I'll target the solutions. So outside the media queries I'll say get me the solutions, and I'll say the background color is gonna be var primary color. Yeah, so there's the image. Okay, so how many cards do I need?
Four.
Four. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want them side by side. What should I do?
Display plus.
Good. Display flex on what?
The parent.
Who's the parent?
As cards.
Adds cards. Good. So I'll say dot s cards, and I'll say display flex. Perfect. Just side by side. Okay, now I want to have everything side by side, so I'm gonna everything the center. So I'll go inside the solution and I'll say text align in the center. So text is going to be aligned, but in order to align them, we are going to get inside the S cards, and what should we say in order to align them in the center? What's the property for making them go in the center?
Larger.
Uh-huh.
Justify content.
Yes, justify content, because it's just displayed flex. So justified content in the center. Perfect. Now I'm gonna have some space between them, so I'll say gap.
Gap.
Yeah, good. Let's say 5 frame. No, I think it's too small, so we shouldn't get them in the center, because we have a lot of space here. Okay, so center is not gonna do it. So let's, instead of center, we can say space around, and let me remove the gap. Now it's too much. So what do you think? What should we do? First, let me give the padding to the main container. So I'll say padding to be 2 rem. Okay, so yeah, so what do you think we should do in order to make it look like this? Come on, I think we have studied too much to know what's going on here. How can we, get to this layout from this layout? Like, first understand the problem. The problem is, if we were to put center on justify content, so if I were to do center and justify content, we have too much space available here. If very good, exactly, that's it. Very good. So I'll say, let me put the border here as well, so we can see where everything is aligned. So I'll say border 2 pixel solid red, so we can see what's happening here. So at the moment it's basically too big, it's taking up too much space. Also, let me put the margin here as well, so I'll say 2 rem 3 rem, oh yeah, 3 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right, so we can get it in the center. Okay, so let me decrease the width so that we have, it's properly aligned like this. So I'll say the width is going to be the same as the hero, the snapbar, and the header. So what was the width of all of those three? It was how much?
I think 70.
70%, yeah. So we have to, make them aligned according to all of the sections. Okay, so great. So now let us make them justify center, or let's just space around would be good. Justify content space around. Yeah, now it's perfect. Let me remove the border. So I'll say I don't want the border anymore. So yeah, perfect. Also, let's change the color. So I'll say everything inside the solution is gonna have the color of white. Yeah, so that's it. Any problem?
No.
Okay, great. So this is for the bigger screen. Okay, we have smaller screen left, so let me see where the problem begins. So you guys are gonna tell me what's gonna happen and where's happening. When is the problem being raised? Here, I think, because they're too close now.
Yeah.
So what's the width?
642.
642. So yeah, do we have something that's complementing 642? Yeah, I think 630 is gonna do it. Let me decrease the width and see. Yeah, 630 is gonna cut it. Okay, so inside the 630, what should we do? What do you think we should do?
The width.
Yeah, good, the width. So we can say inside when it reaches 630, so get me the S cards, and we can increase the width to be, let's say, 90%. Perfect. So yeah, and now we have a problem here. So the problem raises at 372. So when we reach 372, we don't have anything that has 372. Now we're going to study new property. Okay, I want you to pay close attention. So I'll say media and max width. So max dash width, and what was it, 372? Yeah, we can round it off to 380. So I'm going to say the S cards is now going to have an overflow of X to be scroll. What would this mean is, if anything is flowing outside the S cards div, if anything is going outside the cards div, so make it scroll on the x-axis. So look, if we were to go a little smaller, look, now we can scroll it. Can you guys see?
Yeah.
But again, there's a problem, they're too close. So I can say the gap is going to be, let's say, 3 rems. Yeah, perfect. So here you go. Now we can scroll it. If it reaches too small, we can just simply scroll it. So perfect. Look, let me open the mobile view. So yeah, perfect. Any problem with this section? Okay, great. Let's move towards the next one. Okay, so basically there were some images here, but we don't have them anymore. So yeah, I think it's, yeah, perfect. So this one is quite easy. In fact, it's too easy. So what do you see here? How many divs? This section. How much?
the main one.
Yeah, just the main one. We don't have anything else here. So we'll have a main div, and inside the main div we only have this paragraph, this heading, and again this paragraph. Yeah, so that's it. Okay, so inside the HTML, outside the solutions container, what should we name it? Partners, let's say. I'm going to create a section with the class of partners, and first thing is paragraph, and then we have this heading. So what is this, H1 or H2? Is this H1 or H2?
We used H1 and 2, right?
Yeah, we already used H1. Very good.
H3?
H2 is going to be too small, so we already used H1, so we shouldn't use it again. So we can use H2, because if we were to use H3, it's going to be too small. And then this paragraph. Perfect. Okay, so do we have this here? Yeah, we have it here. Okay, so what do you think the first thing we should do? What's the first thing we should do?
Add some
Yeah, what should we add?
width.
The width. Okay, good.
And
So let's do the width. So we can say the partners PRT, and yeah, partners is gonna have the width of how much? 70%, and margin of 2rem and auto. Perfect. Okay, what next?
Gap.
Gap. Yeah, we
Oh,
can use gap, but again we have to use flex for that.
last margin
Margin on what? Which element? We
in the
have
middle.
yeah, good, in the middle. So this one. So this one was H2. So I'm gonna say the partners, and then H2. It's gonna have the margin of, let's say, 1 rem and 0. Perfect. Now I wanna make it bigger. So I'll say font size and 3 rem. Perfect. And then these ones as well. So the paragraph, I don't want to have a margin in paragraphs. I just want to increase the size. So I'll say 1.5 plus. I want to change the color. So I'll say var in para color. So perfect. But again, there's a problem that is taking up too much space. I want to bind it to have around 50% of the space. So instead of 70% width, I'll just give it 50% width, and I'm not gonna give it the margin of auto because it's gonna be aligned in the center. But I think this one looks good as compared to theirs. Yeah, this one looks good. And also make everything go in the center. So I'll say text align in the center. Yeah, this one looks good as compared to theirs. Yeah, great. That's it. So let's move towards a smaller screen. When do we have the problem? At 920. It's too big for 920. So do we have something for 920? Yeah, we have this 1060, so we can do that. So what do you think we should do? What should we do in this screen in 1060?
make it flatter.
Yeah, good. Very good. No, not the width. We already have the width at 50%. So the size.
Yeah.
The size. So I'll say, what was the name of the parent? Partners and H1. No, it wasn't H1, it was H2. And I'll say font size and 2rem because it was 3m before. Yeah, and similarly with the paragraphs. So I'll make the paragraphs take up 1rem only. Yeah, perfect. So let me decrease the size, and let me open the mobile screen, and let's see if it's looking good. Yeah, there's a problem. So what should we do? Add this screen here, 690. So we have something to accommodate 690. Yeah, 630. So at 630, what should we do? Because it's kind of crammed up together here. Look, the two you can say they don't have anything to they don't have much space to move around. So what should we do?
The width.
Very good. The width, it's already at 50%, so we can increase the width. We can say the partners is gonna have the width of, let's say, 80%, not 80%. Yeah, perfect. So let me open the mobile screen and let's see if we have a problem. If we have, we can increase the width. Now it's looking good. Okay, so perfect. Let's move towards the next section. So any problem with this section?
No.
Okay, great. But we would have problems here because this one's kind of big. Okay, so what do you see? How many divs do you see?
The one main.
The one main, good. So we have this one main, and how many divs do we have inside this main div?
Two.
2 or 3?
Three.
3. So we have this heading, we have this top one, and we have this bottom one. Okay, so inside the top one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in the lower one we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, great. So let's move towards coding. So after the partner section we have services. Let's name it services. So I'm going to create a section with the class of services, and the first thing is h2. And what should I name this? Service top maybe? Let's say service top. And this bottom one, let's name it service bottom. Okay, inside the service top we have a card, and this card have this image and a text. So what should we name this card? We can name it S card because we already have given the same name to above section. So what should we name it? Give me a name for this card. Can we do, let's say, service card? Okay, for the single card. Inside this service card we have this image, and I think we cannot copy it. Yeah, we can copy it, and yeah, we cannot copy any of it because these are icons, not images. But again, let's take another thing from another images. Let's say mobile, and I'll go with images, and I'll go more tools, size, and I only want icon. So yeah, this one looks kind of similar. So copy image address, go back to our website and paste it. It should have a width of 70%. No, not 70%, sorry, 100%. And beneath this image we have the text. So P, and it will say e-commerce, and yeah, perfect. So how many cars do we have in the top section? We had like how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And similarly I'm going to copy it down, and in the bottom section we had 6 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the bottom in the service bottom I made 6 cards, and in the service top I've made 7 cards. So copy it, and we have all of these cards here. Perfect. Okay, so first thing I want to do is I want to put this blue color on the background. So who's the parent for everyone? Who's the parent? Are you guys here? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But it's just cracking. What was the question?
The question was, I want to put a blue color on the entire background. Who and who? Yeah, background color on what? Who's the main parent?
Services.
Services, yeah. So this is the last section, okay? We're not gonna do anything after this. This is the last section, so just bear with me a bit more. So services, I'm gonna say background color, and we are, there we go. Okay, so we have this blue color present. Now I want everything to be side by side. So
Yes.
yeah, good. Flex on what?
On the service cards. I mean services.
No, who's the main parent? For the flex, not the main parent. For the cards, who's the parent?
Service card.
No, service card is a single card. Then we've left with only one div, and that is service top.
Service top.
Yeah. So we have service top and we have service bottom, and I want both of them to have a display of flex. Yeah, perfect. But again, I want them to have smaller width, so I'll say width to be, let's say, 80% for the starting screen, and I want them in the center, so I'll say margin 2 rem from left and right, and auto from, sorry, 2 rem from top and bottom, and auto from left and right. And these images are too big, so let me decrease the size. So I'll say instead of 100%, so I want to select the next 100%. How do I do that? What was the shortcut for that? Like I've selected
Control
this,
D.
very good, control D. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Again the next one, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Yeah, so I'll change it to, let's say, 70%. Still too big. 30%. Yeah, they kind of looking good. Okay, so I want everything to be in the center, so everything is already in the center. So let me get the single card. So what's the name of the single card? It was service card. So I'll say the background is going to be white. Yeah, but there's a problem. Why are they joined together? I would not want them to be joined together. So what should I do in order to have some space between them? What's the property for putting space between them?
Gap.
Gap, good. And the parent, I'll say gap and 1 rem. Yeah, so again I want them everything to be in the center. So in a single card, I'll say text align in the center. Perfect. I want them to have space from the inside, so I'll say padding to be, let's say, 2 rem. Yeah, I want them to be rounded. So what's the property for making them round? Border radius. Good. So I'll say border radius to be 50 pixels to round. Yeah, and I want them to, they're basically joined together. So I'll put a padding on the main parent, and who's the main parent? It was services. So I'll say padding to be 2 rem. Perfect. And I want everything to be in the center, so I'll say text align in the center. Great. And all of everything is going to have a color of white, but it's going to pose a problem because this is also going to get white. So I'll say everything inside the single card, service card, is going to have a color of black. Yeah, perfect. So the main section for the biggest section is ready, biggest screen is ready. So let me reduce the size and let's see where the problem begins. Let me reduce the size. Okay, that's, I guess, what's happening here. So 50%. Okay, so the problem is when, yeah, here 1514, so around 1520. So 1520, we don't have anything to accommodate 1520, so I'll make something. So I'll say at 1520 px, increase the width of the top sections and the bottom sections. So I'll say service bottom and service top is gonna have a width of, let's say, 90%. Yeah, again we have a problem here. It's gonna overflow. So what should we do? What do you think we should do? What should we do in order to, make them?
Right
Yeah,
direction.
yeah, we can do flex direction, but again it's gonna be too big for the flex direction. Like it's 13 to 82 at the moment. So if we were to change the direction, so it'll
The
it'll
width.
we don't have any space to move around, so we don't have any width to move around.
The font size.
The font size is already too small. So what should we do? We can, there's another property. It's called flex wrap. So what is wrap generally? What does wrap generally refers to?
Like to close something up. Like
Exactly.
when it doesn't fit.
Exactly. So basically what I'll say here is flex wrap to be equal to wrap. Like anything that is exceeding the parent, wrap it around. Okay, and wrap it around and get that into the next line. So here you go. Now anything that is exceeding outside the parent is gonna wrap it around. But I want everything to be in the center. So I'll say justify content and center. So here you go. Anything that is exceeding the parent is going to wrap it around. Here you go. So if I were to open it on a mobile screen, so perfect. Look, just one property, and that is flex wrap. So you can get this concept, the flex wrap concept. So what does flex wrap do?
Yes.
So anything that is going to exceed from the parent, it basically wraps it around and gets it to the next line. Okay.
So make sure that everything stays in one line,
Yeah, exactly, good. Not
and
in
then
one
going to
line.
the next one. There's not enough space.
Yeah, exactly. So basically
Okay.
not in one line, but in one parent. So basically it shouldn't exceed from the parent. It basically stays inside the parent, but it gets to the next line, so we have more space to move around. Okay. So yeah, that's it for today. But again, we have to push this code into the GitHub because we want to have a new version. So what were those three commands that we had to repeat again and again? What was the first one? I want to add everything. So I'll say git add dot. So what this will do is it's gonna add everything. So I'll press enter. Okay. What was the next one? Did you guys remember, or should I do
Um,
it?
get init.
Very good. Git commit. Very good. And then dash, and then m, and whatever you want to write it. Okay. So what did we do today? We did 1 2 3 4 sections. So we can say we did 4 sections. And what happened here? So we did 4 sections. Perfect. And last command was I want them to push it in the GitHub. So I'll say git and then push dash u origin main. So what's gonna happen now? It's going to get the whatever my GitHub. It's gonna go inside my GitHub repository. Okay, the one we created yesterday, and it's going to update my code. I'll show you. Wait. I visited at github.com, and I'll search for the repository I created yesterday. What was it named? I guess it was named simple. Yeah, this one. So you're gonna see here we have the same comment. We did 4 section, and it's saying now. So what's it saying is we updated the code just now. So if I were to open this, it's gonna have my latest changes here. Look, we did this section, last section. What was the last section? It was services. Here it is. So basically now we have this updated code. Okay, so you guys talked about how we uploaded our website. So how did we do that? So basically first we're gonna push your code, and then you're gonna go inside the settings in this menu, in this icon, and then the pages, and then change is none. Which branch are we using? We changed our branch from master to what? Yesterday we changed our branch. What was the branch we changed to? It was main. So main, and then save. That's it. And it's going to upload your website. It's going to give you a link. If you were to come into actions, it's going to tell you whether it's built or not. So basically it's saying pages built and deployed. At the moment it has this orange dot that's indicating that it's basically being uploaded. The moment it's uploaded, it's gonna have this check mark icon here. So wait, just taking some time. It's gonna take yeah, it's good. So it's saying yeah, it's done. So if I were to click here, this is the link it gave me. If I were to click it, now this is my website that is totally uploaded on GitHub. Even if you were to now open it on mobile phone, in fact do it, open it on mobile phones, and let's see how it's looking. This is the link. Open it. Wait, let I'm gonna share in WhatsApp group. Open it and tell me whether it's responsive or not.
It is.
It is, yeah. So is it looking good? Is there any problem with the overflowing and every stuff like that, or it's
No, it looks good.
okay? Great, great. So that's exactly what I want from you. You have to send me the link before the next class. In fact, what I'm doing at the moment is I'm building this portal kind of system. Okay, so you guys, I'm gonna give you the access of this system, the one you're seeing right now. So basically it's gonna have all of your assignments here, and plus it's going to have this deadline here. So you won't see all of you won't see the assignments once the deadline is passed. And if you don't see the assignments, obviously you can't submit the assignments. So inshallah it will be around 2 to 3 days. I'm gonna share the credentials with you, and you can access this portal. And it's gonna pose a problem if you don't do the work. Okay, so basically it's going to have all of the checks. So basically in the marks section you're gonna have all the marks for the assignments and the tests and everything, and this dashboard is going to show you whatever your progress is. So make sure to submit the assignments. Okay, so at the moment it's not ready at the moment, so I'll share the credentials once it's ready. So but until then, please give me the submit the assignments before Friday. Okay, you have today and you have the day after today. Okay, so you have 2 days. Please submit the assignments, and the assignment is up until this section only. Okay,
Okay.
any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Yeah, so you guys can leave. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz. Allah Hafiz.